Relearning yourself. I love that. Hey, 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 peace, love, peace. Happy Wednesday, blissful rise, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are joining from. Welcome in, beautiful souls. This is All Things Mastery live broadcast, okay, where we discuss all things mastery to do what? Get you to experience all that you want, all that you need, all that you desire, whatever that may be: love, health, abundance, peace, prosperity, more bliss, more joy, more clarity, confidence, whatever it may be. This is where you get the accurate, proven, indisputable information, facts, and higher perspectives to do all of those things that I mentioned. So, welcome to my YT family, welcome to my FB family, welcome to my T-Witch family, and definitely welcome to my TikTok family. Okay, I think the TikTok family is like y'all really at the center of my affection. No shade to no shade to anybody else. No shade, no shade, no shade. But I spend a lot of time teaching on TikTok. So no shade to anyone. Just what? Oh, my glasses need to be clean. Gosh. Okay. Anyway, so relearning yourself. Jill said, Shira, how are you, my love? Did I say that correctly? Shira, is it pronounced Shira? Welcome to All Things Mastery Broadcast, honey. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Venus. My name is Venus Scott. Welcome, welcome, welcome. When we get into the live before the lesson, I'm going to give you a little bit about me. For those of you who are new to me, I see a lot of new supporters that are following, subscribing to the channel, and I know, not just think, I know the importance of knowing who you're consuming, what you're consuming. And as a mentor, Miss Joyce, how are you, my love? How you doing, hun? Miss Jocelyn, pardon me. So I know it is also very, very important for you to know who's teaching you, educating you, mentoring you, or sharing anything with you. Why, Venus? Because you become what you consume. So for those of you who are not familiar with me, hi, my name is Venus Scott. I've been teaching self-mastery for 15 plus years, more than 15 years, but we're going to keep it at 15, okay? More than 15 plus years, and I have helped countless of men and women reach their desired goals by teaching them the cycle of my core principles dealing with psychology, metaphysics, universal laws, and principles, neuro linguistic programming. Okay, all of the things, quantum physics, genetics. So my studies and my education are in those areas. I'm also a best-selling author of 4 books currently. One of those being a curriculum, very requested curriculum, creating your desired reality. I am also, a former struggler. Okay, I'm a former hustler. I'm a former victim. I'm a former all things that I did not want to be. Okay, and if I can live the best part of my last 10 years plus, living a life of abundance, living a life of prosperity, not having to rob Peter to pay Paul, not being in poverty, not living in scarcity or living in fear, doing what I want to do when I want to do it in righteousness. Okay, I didn't get here just by doing nothing. I didn't get here just by talking. I didn't get here just by visualizing. Okay, so the person and the soul that's mentoring you is well qualified externally and internally according to who I am, according to my divine purposes. And I teach you all how to do the same thing so you live a life that is fulfilled, with more fulfillment, remembering who you are, which is absolutely important. Why? Because we've been programmed to do everything but be free. We've been programmed to do and be everybody else but who we are authentically. So when I say a lot of us don't even know who we are, because we don't. Because since we came out the womb, we've been given a name, we've been given an identity according to the people, places, and things that surrounded us, who put those things on us. And so at our beautiful, mature age, it's time for us to rediscover who we are, remember who we are. It's time for us to create the identity that is going to be in alignment with the man, woman that we want to be. Okay, identity plays a lot plays a big part in that. Girly, how are you, my love? Welcome in, honey. Peace. Gelato, how you doing, my love? How are you? Thank you so much for sharing the live. So we're gonna get into it, okay? The most important thing you need to remember is that you don't get what you want. You don't get what you want. You don't even get what you deserve. And I know a lot of us have that misconception because we have labeled, mislabeled, and uh what's the word I'm looking for? We have labeled and mislabeled according to our distorted biases and place unjust judgment on people, especially when it comes to us not experiencing what we want to experience or seeing unrighteous, wicked, evil, just simply demonic people seemingly living a life of joy and abundance, and they have all the money in the world. They have the man, the woman, the life, they have all of that. And us unrighteously judging that, saying, well, they don't deserve. This has nothing to do with deserving. The life you want to create has nothing to do with you deserving it so much. The life that you want to create has the life that other people are living has little to do with what they deserve or what they don't deserve. Not as much as most of us think. And so we're going to be getting into identity. That's a whole nother masterclass for itself. But we're going to be getting into identity because I really want to help y'all. I really want to help y'all because I know I don't want to be the only one, which I'm not the only one, but in our village, in our tribe, I don't want to be the only one that's living carefree. I don't want to be the only one that's not struggling. I don't want to be the only one that's not in poverty. I don't want to be the only one, okay? Whenever you are righteous, whenever you are a nurturer by heart, by nature, by divinity, you want to see others bloom. You want to see other blossoms. However, I can't want it as bad as you do. I cannot want it as much as you want it for yourself. I am here to play my part and work with you, not work for you, okay? I will work with you every step of the way, and I will give you opportunities to gain personal access to me so I can walk with you through your journey, because what I can guarantee you is that you're going to need help. You're going to need assistance. You're going to need mentoring, because no tree stands alone in a forest, my loves. We have to understand that you were never purposed to do life alone. I know a lot of y'all think that y'all can't trust people, but trusting people isn't your problem. Trusting you is. Trust, when we talk about trust, it has little to do with how, why, the reasons as to trusting other people as much as it boils down to it's about you versus you. Okay? So I want y'all to understand that. You don't need to worry about if you can trust someone else. What you need to worry about, not worry about, however, what you need to shift your focus to is how much do you trust you? Because when you trust you, when your mind is clear, right? When your heart is pure, you don't have to worry about trusting other people because you trust yourself enough to make wise decisions when it comes to other people outside of your emotional attachments. And that's wisdom. When you can act upon wisdom, when you can act upon right judgment, that's you making decisions excluding the emotional connection that you had to the person, place, or thing. That's wisdom. And if we say we are wise, that's what it actually means, that your distorted biases isn't included. Your distorted biases of what other people are and what they are not isn't included. Peace, Robert. How are you, my love? Robert Rowe. Are you my family? Hey. See, Rowe, that's my daddy name. Peace, family. I know you must be family because you're calling me a stranger. Welcome in. So I need y'all to understand that. Key, thank you so much. Keys 369. Love the name, love the tag, baby. Keys 369. I love it. Thank you so much for the support. Follow infinite gratitude for you grabbing your daily heart meet. Make sure when you come in, you grab your daily heart meet and you engage and you exchange. That is one of the profound laws, exchange. back to me saying, let's get into this lesson. You don't get what you want, you get according to who you are. And I'm going to break that down. Who are you has a lot to do with your identity. Your identity tells you who you are. Oh, Dino, how are you, my love? Okay, I remember. How you doing, honey? Listen, your identity is at the center of why you keep attracting what you attract, and why you keep experiencing what you keep experiencing, why you keep circling and cycling the same block, why you keep backpedaling, why you keep remaining quote unquote stuck, why you ask for the reasons why you still on that dysfunctional hamster wheel. Okay, I need us to understand. I need us to understand. I need us to understand. You are not where you are and will be, not where you want to be. Okay? Full acceptance is the key to moving forward, because you cannot change what you aren't willing to accept. And a lot of us think we know it all. We think we have it down pat. We think we are stuck in our ways, but that's just a poor excuse to show just how irresponsible you are, just how unmotivated you are, and just how unaccountable you are. That is an excuse. And I want us to rid ourselves of that. And I don't even want us to entertain people. Well, I'm stuck in my ways. At this big grown age, I'm stuck in my ways. That's just an excuse. Another excuse. How many of us have heard, oh, we all humans and we all make mistakes? Bullshit. 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 I call bullshit a bullshit. Just like that little boy. A bullshit. First of all, we're not humans. That's the first thing. Because if you think, well, actually, some of us are humans. Some of us are the actual sea creatures and sea monsters. Hey, infinite gratitude. Hey, I love those classes, infinite gratitude. Some of us are actually sea monsters. So I correct myself. Peace, John. What's good, love? I correct myself. Some of us actually are sea monsters, but the others, okay, those of us who understand that we are not human, because human means sea creature, sea monster. You don't believe me? Do your own due diligence and pick up some books and read. Okay, reading is fundamental for your growth and your elevation. Read. We have lost the art and the inspiration and motivation to read. You need information. Not only reading the information that's external. How many of us are not reading our internal information? What do you think your DNA possesses? You think your DNA is just blood? Baby, come on now. That's how doctors are able to tell you what they're telling you, because your DNA holds and houses infinite information. So not only are we not reading external books that can help us elevate, we're not reading an infinite eternal book that's within us. Everything I know, you know. Everything the trees know, you know. Everything the water knows, you know. Everything the universe knows, you know. You are the infinite intelligence. You are God's source. What do you think it is? Energy. You are energy. As above, so below, and everything in between it. And the minute you understand that, the minute you can really start reclaiming your energy, the minute you can start regulating your nervous system and saying, you know what? I need to relearn some things. I say we are infinite, John. I need to relearn some things. Okay? Because I want a better life. I want to grow. I want to elevate. I don't want to be suffering anymore. Too many of us are suffering. I don't want to be suffering anymore. I don't want my children suffering anymore. Yet we whoop and holler, talking about I love my children. I'll give a kidney for my children. I'll give a leg for my children. I'll go murk someone for my children. I'll unalive somebody for my children. All of these things you will give for your children, but you won't give to yourself for your children that you claim you love. It was not only important to me to find out why I was so broken. It wasn't only important to me to find out why I was so miserable, why I kept dipping into these deep states of depression, why my money kept playing ping pong with me. It wasn't enough to do it just for me. I said I love my children. I I love my children, so I started to do what was required, starting with me, to show my children I love them, not just talk a good game about, here, you can have a lung if you need one, you can have a kidney if you need one, you can have a leg or arm or a pinky toe if you need one. No, what they needed to me, unbeknownst to them, is for me to remember who I was, for me to constantly ascend, for me to raise my level of consciousness, for me to reclaim my energy and authority and start stepping into my power. For me to stop using all the justifications and excuses as to why I'm still 100 steps back. Let's tell the truth, somebody. Laverne, how are you, my love? Infinite gratitude. Let's tell the truth in here. The truth will set you free, not the lies. The lies keep you in bondage. The lies keep you doing what? Self-destructing. Because let me tell you something. Here's an indisputable fact that should set fire under your ass. As living, and this is basic biology, as living organisms, which we are living organisms, our primary function is to grow, evolve, expand. If we're not doing that, guess what? We're doing the opposite. There's no such thing as things remaining the same. So if you're not ascending, then you're doing what? Descending. That's crashing out. That's being overwhelmed. That's getting burnt out. That's self-destructing. If you're not going up, you're going down. If you're not going forward, you're going backward. If you're not going to the left, you're going to the right, and vice versa. If you're not positive, you're negative. If you are not growing, I need us to understand that, because a lot of y'all are wasting so much of your invaluable essence, your vital essence, your vital life force. Is not just about time. Y'all wasting y'all time, meaning you wasting your invaluable essence and your energy not doing what you need to do. Okay? So you don't get according to what you are, my loves. You get an experience according to your identity. When is the last time y'all checked? When is the last time y'all asked yourself, who am I? Who am I? What identity am I possessing? Infinite gratitude, Keys. What identity am I currently possessing? Because your identity shapes your reality, meaning your identity shapes your experiences. Your identity, who you are, creates how you live and what you experience. Ashe? So think about that for a moment. How many times have you wanted more money, a better life, more opportunities, wanted to travel, wanted to experience different things with your loved ones, right? Wanted to start a business or scale a business and it actually be successful. How many of y'all wanted security in whatever area? Okay, and even if you get it and obtain it, it just slips away. Better relationships slips away. Healthier body slips away. Right? Confidence slips away. Right, Laverne? Listen, I tell the truth about myself. That's happened to me plenty of times. One minute I have it, one minute I don't. One minute I'm healthy and I'm, you know what I'm saying, and I'm talent. You know what I'm saying? The body doing what the body doing, what I wanted to do. And then it's the next, it's like, what happened? What happened? Hi, sis. How are you? Hi, pumpkin. Right? What happened? You got it, and then it's gone. It's like, what the fuck? Somebody who just snatched my whole life. Who just snatched my happiness away? Give it back. Return to sender. Return it. Okay? But it doesn't work that way in all seriousness. It doesn't work that way. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you binge watch all the tips, tools, and techniques from your favorite philosophers and teachers and preachers, okay, no matter how many times you done prayed and cried till you didn't have no more water in your body to shed one extra tear. It wasn't because you wasn't worthy, I'll tell you that. It wasn't because you wasn't worthy. It's because you don't yet, emphasis on yet. I'm about speaking things into existence because that's what's required. You don't understand yet the fundamentals of who you are and what you're capable of doing, and you do not understand yet the information that you need, how to apply the information that you need, and then how to embody it. And once you do those things, if you do not cultivate it, you don't get to keep it. So that's what's going on. You do not keep what you do not cultivate. You cannot expect to drink water every other week and be healthy. You cannot expect to feed your beautiful plants that give you life in return, that helps the quality of the air inside your space once a week, and it still has life. Hi, my beautiful Tamika. You cannot expect just to love on you or love on your children once a week or once a month and think they're going to have vitality, think they're going to be inspired, think they're going to feel love. Cultivation is a big part of maintaining. Maintenance is a huge part. You don't get to do it once and then keep it. You don't get to keep what you don't cultivate. Damn, infinite gratitude for the support follow. Crop 2020-2020-2002. Infinite gratitude to the tree. I love that. Infinite gratitude. Yes. Right? So what I'm here to tell you, one of the things I'm here to remind you is that it's not because you're not worthy. It's not because you're doing everything inaccurate. I didn't say wrong or right. Inaccurate. Okay? A lot of times it's not because of that. However, you are responsible no matter what the cause is. That's what's most important. Nothing changes until you change it. Ashe, if you understand what I'm saying, type of Ashe in the comment section. ASA, Ashe. We are the Ashe. Seal. Okay? It was not because you wasn't worthy of what you wanted. It's because a lot of us aren't trying. I see the Ashe Laverne Keys 369. I see that. I see the Ashe Sunny Sunshine Big Chef. I see. We have to do. The wonderful thing about it is that you don't have to do it alone. Your ancestors is always with you. The righteous ones, of course, right? And you are God in essence. You are God and God is you, my love. You are God and you are goddess and goddess is you, my love. There isn't an external force that's working on your behalf. The universe isn't working in your behalf. As I cannot stand when people say that, oh God, the universe is always working in your favor. No, it ain't. That's a lie. We have adopted and accepted so many lies, and it's made us lazy. It made us irresponsible and unaccountable, because as long as you can go to anybody's altar, wash your hands, cry your tears, and just leave all your dysfunction, all your poor behaviors, all your misconduct at the altar, and God is going to take care of it. Why? Because He already died for all of your judgments. He's already died for all of your mismanagement of your divine essence. He already gave up the ghost for you. That's a fucking lie. And for all of you who think the universe is always working in your favor, it is. The question is in what's in favor. The universe does work in your favor, but it only reflects what you give it. It's not your intermediator. It's not your autocorrect. It's not your life correct. It only responds to the frequency that you're transmitted. It only responds to the magnetism that you're emitted. Why? Because just like the universe, you are bioelectromagnetic beings. This has long been an indisputable fact. What does that mean? There is no mysterious God playing fucking puppet master. You are the puppet and the master. You are the puppet and the master. You are the puppet and the master. However, how long are you going to be a puppet? How long are you not going to be the master of your actions? Because here's the thing, you're not the only master and puppeteer. There are things in which, and people in which we are being mastered by. That's puppeteering our life. And if you don't believe me, let me just give you this example. How many of y'all here engage in politics to a degree where you find yourself in conversations and heated debates? How many of y'all still talking about what the president doing and ain't doing, and what the White House, left house, blue house, what the right side doing and the left side doing? How many of y'all actually watch the news like y'all watch y'all damn like, well, I was about to say brush your teeth, but half of us ain't even clean. Okay? How many of y'all entertain these things? How many of y'all entertaining conversations about racism? How many of us are still entertaining conversations about who was here first? How many of us still entertaining about who's superior and who's not? How many of us still entertaining about who's native to the United States? How many of you still think that you are African American or Indian American or whatever type of American? Queenland, how are you, my love? Listen, just say ouch, okay? It's okay. Just say ouch. How many of you are having conversations or entertaining foolishness? Just say ouch. How many of you are binge watching reality shows, especially women disrespecting other women, men disrespecting men, women disrespecting men, mamas disrespecting sons, sons disrespect? How many of you, be honest with yourself? You don't have to tell the truth here, but you need to tell the truth to yourself. That is you being mastered. Ashe? You can like it or not. That's you being mastered. Why? Because you currently have a distorted identity. Because if your identity wasn't distorted, Queen Lynn, facts, ouch. There's plenty of times I had to say ouch. That's why I'm able to smile about it right now, okay? Because there came a time where I had to be like, you know what? How many times am I going to say ouch, Venus? Infinite gratitude, tell the truth. How are you, my love? I got tired of saying ouch. I got tired of going through the same loops and the same hoops. I got tired of signing up for every circus that was in town. I got tired of that. Really, it was exhausting. It was draining my very essence. I got tired of being who everybody else wanted me to be, to the point where I didn't even know who I was. Talking about who am I? What's my identity archetype? I didn't know because I was too busy being men's fantasy. I was too busy being woman's fantasy. I was too busy being the girl. I was too busy being the one that had the money. I was too busy chasing what I thought was what I wanted. I was too busy living a life that was sucking me dry just to appease other people because I was too busy seeking validation, external validation. I was too busy looking for the heart me's, okay, what we call today. I was too busy wanting strokes. Oh, Venus, you this because of that, and you're that because of this. I was too busy being a victim. Ashe? That wasn't it. I had a distorted person. I had a distorted identity. Okay. Ask yourself this question: have you ever had a big goal? Right? You felt fired up. Okay, it was you all excited about it. You all exhilarated. You just feeling real good about it. And maybe even saw some progress, right? You catching your stride. You in the money. I've been there too, sis. Yes, Ashe. Right? Kaya, how are you? My love, you in the money. And it's like plenty of times you feel like that. And all of a sudden you slip right back into old patterns. All of a sudden you found yourself not doing what you were just doing. All of a sudden you found yourself not where you wanted to be. Okay? All of a sudden, infinite gratitude, Yugi Frubi, if that's how you pronounce it, infinite gratitude, right? Yes, I definitely understand that. Okay, all of a sudden you just like, what happened? Who just came by and did an abracadabra on me? Who just came by and did who? Where? What? And you start looking around. And you trying to figure it out, and you are wrecking your brain trying to backtrack your steps. Where did I go wrong? Who was I in? Did somebody steal my, and then did somebody got a hex on me? We just coming up with all these ideas, all of these reasons as to why, right? Just circling our brains. Wow. Patterns. Your patterns are created because of your identity. And a lot of us have distorted identities, and I'm going to show you how. Yes, it can burn, Yuki. It can definitely burn, okay? And like many others who experience the same thing, I see a lot of y'all raising your hands in the comments. Somebody raise one for me because I'm included. Okay? Can we get the chat more? A lot of y'all, you know what I'm saying? It's important. My hand is raised too. I'm not excluded from experiencing that. This is how I know one of the reasons I know what I know. However, I do want you to be encouraged, okay? Because that's the cycle that we're going to break, and we're going to break it right now if you allow yourself to break it. That's a clause. And a lot of us need to finish and complete things, including our affirmations. It's not enough for you to just say, I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, I'm intelligent. It's not enough for you to just visualize that you are beautiful, you are sexy, you are intelligent, you are prosperous, you are joy. It's not enough, because whenever you don't have all the variables and don't understand the variables, you cannot come to the correct answer. I need us to understand that it's not enough for you to say it. You have to become it. It only works if you work it. Otherwise, you're just talking to talk. You're just walking just to walk. And you're just doing just to do it. And none of it is actually working in your favor. And no one else is going to auto-correct that. You need to understand that it's going to take and require more of you so you can understand. Okay? These are the things that you need to understand. So I'm going to give you what you need so you can break those cycles if you allow it. My promise is to give you what you need so you can stop hustling. You were never purpose to hustle, and you don't have to hustle harder to make more money. You don't have to hustle harder to get more peace. You don't have to hustle harder to more security. You don't have to hustle harder. Hustling harder is hustling backwards. That's called enslavement. You abusing your body. You missing the sleep that you need so your mind and your body and your nervous system can regulate itself. It's not wise, and it isn't healthy. Ashe? So I want y'all to stop. That's my promise to you. I'm always gonna give you the indisputable facts, information, the applications, and the cultivations on how you can create the experiences that you want to create. Not by chasing, not by hustling harder, okay? Not by moving backwards, with proven formulas and frameworks. Nothing sticks until you shift at the deepest level. Nothing shifts in your life until you shift at the deepest level. What's that deeper level? Put a one in the comment section if you know if you want to know what that deeper level is. Nothing shifts until you shift at the deepest level. Ashe? Yes, Tamika. Ashe. We are all learning it. Keys, I see the ones. I see the ones, Big Chef. I see the ones. Okay. What's at the deepest level? The thing that's at the deepest level is, I see you, Queen Lynn, your identity. Inside shifting your identity, you'll be able to master the sciences, the sacred metaphysics, the practical steps to release your old self, to embody your new frequency. Okay? And I know at times it may sound like a lot. However, what I can guarantee you is that the more you do it, the more you're going to retain it, which is going to lead to you mastering it. I'll give this analogy before. There was once upon a time where you didn't know how to tie your shoes, but now you can tie your shoes. It's like a master. You've mastered the art of tying shoes. Once upon a time, I'm sure you couldn't ride that bike. But a lot of us, even though we haven't been on a bicycle after years on top of years, put me on a bicycle right now. I bet you I may wobble in the beginning, baby. But when I tell you the muscle memory, the mental memory, snap right back, and I'll be riding like a pro again, and don't need to be retrained. Don't need to be rehearsed. Don't need none of that. Because why? Because you have done it so long, it's now wired in your subconscious database. It's now wired in your mental database. It's now embedded in your neurological system. It's now embedded in you. It's the same with learning the mastery principles that I teach you. So this one of the reasons I always encourage you, whenever I give you the opportunity to join All Things Mastery Infinity program, join it. It's not just for me. It is not just for me. And I don't ever need nobody dollar that bad. I don't. You will invest your value. If it's valuable to you, you will invest. I can guarantee you I'm not struggling. Okay? However, it's your responsibility and you're accountable. You're held accountable for that. You don't get to where you want to be by doing it by yourself. That is one of the most misconceptions that is out there. You don't do nothing by yourself. Even if you have thought that and have heard that, nothing you do is ever by yourself. Why? Because it violates the universal principle of mentalism, which states that all is mind and mind is all. All is energy as above and so below. And if that is correct, that means that you are never anywhere alone. You are never alone because you are part of this infinite oneness. You are a part of the collective. So how can I get it on my own? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Do y'all understand what genetics is? Epigenetics? A lot of us are carrying identities, karmas from ancestors. Tell me how you doing anything alone when you are your ancestors. Is that, come on now, let me know. Let me know. Is this making sense? Let me know. No tree stands alone in the forest, my loves. If you wasn't connected to the infinite oneness, if you wasn't one with the universe, how do you have water within inside of you? How is our avatar made up of 75% water? How is the earth made up of 75% water? That the number may not be accurate, but it's somewhere around here. If we were not one with, Ashe? Okay? It's Betty. How are you, my love? So these are the things that we need to understand. A lot of us is still trying to create from an old identity. A lot of us are still trying to manifest from the old identity. A lot of us is still trying to affirm our way out of the old identity. A lot of us is still trying to manifest from an old identity, the old identity that was centered upon and built upon mostly lies and distortions. So how do you expect to experience more abundance, more peace, more prosperity, more love, more romance, more health, better health, more vitality, more energy, which is all higher states of consciousness when your identity that was formed up until now resides in the lower state of consciousness, which is depression and hate and anxiety and resentment and suffering and poverty and lack and frustration and depression and all of the different things. That's lower states of consciousness. That's lower identity, higher identity. We want to go from here to here. And you are the one that's choosing where you are. You have everything you need to shift your identities, starting right now. Ashe? You need out of this body. Well, if you want to be out of that body that bad, baby, I can teach you how. Okay? Identity shift. Nothing you want will ever come to fruition if you don't understand identity shift. Okay? So with this new master training, there are 7 modules, 7 steps high. I'm coming, Queen. Listen. As long as we're there, you are more than welcome. Okay? You get to decide. I don't ever pressure anyone. You will never find me forcing anything. I go with the flow. I don't fight against the current. That's stupidity. I move with the current of life. I move with the current of righteousness. I move with the current of flow. I don't force anything. It's Betty B, infinite gratitude. You cannot force your way to higher consciousness. You can't force a new identity. You cannot force anything. I know that appeared to be a proven method, but it isn't. Anything that is natural in essence isn't force. It doesn't move or flow with force. It moves and flow with the flow. Ashe? If you trying to get to the shore because you stuck out there somewhere, you're not going to get to the shore by hustling backwards, backstroking. No, you learn to relax, tread water, and you swim forward, and you also allow the current to assist you and helping to move you to shore. That's the natural flow of it. Okay? So, and I'm gonna touch quickly on all of these modules. Okay, the mirror phase. This is the first phase in identity shifting. The mirror phase, awakening the old identity. You cannot fix what you haven't accepted. However, the method that I teach you, it's not going to cause you to re-traumatize yourself. That is the difference between someone that is qualified to teach you mastery, self-mastery, and identity mastery and life mastery, between someone who don't know what they're talking about, that's trying to teach you, oh, you got to go back to that very moment when he abused you or she abused you. You got to stay there, and you gotta feel it, and you got to accept it, and you don't move until it's changed. No. Re-traumatization isn't a part of effective, healthy healing. It isn't. This is why a lot of us still healing. 10, 20, 30 years later, you still talking about, I'm on my healing journey. How, Sway and Suzanne, how are you still on your healing journey 5, 6, 7 years later? It only tells me that you were taught by a person who wasn't educated and qualified to teach you in the first place. And that paper stamp that they had, it wasn't the thing that qualified them. True healing is what? Challenge any of your mentors, challenge any of your coaches, challenge any of your PhD therapists, and I mean that with all due respect. Challenge them. I want you to ask them, what does healing mean to them? And I'm going to ask you the same question, okay? I need y'all to be brave right now. Put in the comment section what you think healing is, okay? Put in the comment section what you think healing is, and then get back to tapping, because we need to be way over 31K, okay? I'm just saying. I'm exchanging value, so I require the same in return. Drop in the comment section what you think healing is. You don't have to write a whole, up until the characters. Just put a couple of words out there. Let it go and move it forward. Ashe, Queen Lynn. I love that answer. I have no answers. Ashe, I love and respect that answer too. Ashe, I respect that. Peace, Wealthy. Melanin, how are you, my love? I love that name, by the way. Put in the comment section, what do you think healing means for you? It's also a challenge to ask anybody that's mentoring you. And if they don't give you the answer that I'm going to give you, or in the vicinity of the answer that I'm going to give you, they don't know what they're talking about. And I say that with all due respect and all disrespect if they don't know and they're intentionally taking advantage of people's pain points. I would say that again, but I don't want to get riled up. Moving past what hurt you or kept you down. Ashe, I love that response. Ashe says, I love that response. When it don't hurt no more. Ashe. Right? So all of the answers that y'all gave, absolutely correct. I'm gonna surmise it. Okay, I'm gonna put it all together. At its core, and I need y'all to remember this, so y'all can not only help yourself but help somebody else when the time comes and if they allow you to. Okay? The essence and core of healing, being healed, is higher states of consciousness. It is ascending. Okay? It is ascending. Why do I say that? It's because if you are still healing, it means that you are still experiencing the residue of hurt, the residue of pain, the residue of resentment, the residue of anger, sometimes hate. Those are all lower states of consciousness. So when you elevate to higher states of consciousness, that's you moving up, which in other words, it's ascension. Up is ascension. True healing at its core is ascension, ascending. Ashe? This is why it's ineffective and inaccurate and a poor approach to shadow work and deep healing to put the person that you're mentoring or educating in a position where they have to re-traumatize themselves again and again and again and again and again. What happens when you keep doing that? It keeps you down here instead of moving up here. This is why a lot of practitioners aren't successful. This is why a lot of mentors and coaches aren't truly successful. Shadow work should not mean repeating of re-traumatization. Healing should not be a repeated pattern of re-traumatization. Pardon me. I don't know about you. I don't want to keep revisiting my abuser. I don't want to keep revisiting those pain points. I don't want to keep going back down that road, especially if I don't have to. I don't want to remember when I was in poverty. I don't want to remember all of them times where I was broken, let alone trying to figure out the first time I was broken. I don't want to remember the first time my mother or my father abandoned me. I don't want to remember the first time a man or a woman broke my heart. I don't want to remember the time I was told I was stupid and unworthy and nobody wants. I don't know about you, but that's not something I want to keep revisiting. Why? Because that lowers your whole state of being. That fractures your mind and fractures your heart. That's not a method. And current methods, textbook methods of healing, that's what they tell you. Oh, you got to go back to that place and stay there until you fix it, until you recognize it, until you do. Ain't until shit. I'm done. When I say I'm done, I'm done. There are healthier ways for you to heal, my loves. And one of the ways is a method that I created through all of my research, all of my studying. Starve the old, feed the new. Right? Now, there have been insurmountable studies done. Whatever you stop feeding, it loses essence. It loses its power. In other words, you don't have to go back and be re-traumatized because most of you know who your abusers was. Most of you know who hurt you. Most of you know what man broke your heart or what woman broke your heart. Most of you know the teacher that couldn't stand you because you couldn't stand whatever the case. Most of you already know the moment where you lost your money, where something happens or life happens. Most of you already know the color that brings back and that brings back the memories that your abusers. Most of you already know these things. Why do you have to go back to it? That's like a dog returning to its own vomit. It just don't make sense. We have to use our minds. Sense, my people. Inner sense. Inner sense, not innocence, inner sense. It don't work. However, if you starve it, okay, now when I talk about these methods, of course, there are applicable practices, which I'm not going into, okay? But however, if you was a mentee in all things mastery, you would know all of these methods, okay? Starve the old, feed the new without re-traumatization is the healthiest way to ascend. Okay, so we're gonna in this master chat. I'm gonna be going over the mirror phase, which is awakening the old identity so you can create the new identity. Okay, in module 2, we're gonna be talking about the mechanics of self, the science and spirit of identity. Remember, you cannot fix something you aren't aware of. It doesn't work that way, and a lot of you are not aware of your identity archetype. There are archetypes to almost everything. Right? There's an identity archetype, which I'm going to discuss in this master training. In module 3, we're going to be talking about the reset code, releasing, rewiring the old self. It's rewiring, and a lot of y'all know what mental rewiring is, your nervous system rewiring is, because I've spoken about it before. In module 4, we're going to be going over the blueprint design. You need a design, you need a formula, you need a framework. No architecture ever built a building or a house or a compound without the blueprint. You need a blueprint, my love. It cannot just be in your head. It cannot. And one of the reasons is why. 60 to 70,000 thoughts per day that you have unknowingly is from your past. It's from your subconscious database. There's only 10 to 15% of those thoughts that are actually new. So what do you think is happening every single day you wake up and think you're going to live this elaborate life if you never autocorrect, mentally correct, reprogram the old dominant database that is running constantly? Right? These are the things that we need to know. Because these are the reasons as to why we're not experiencing more joy, more love, more peace, more prosperity. Right? The 5th module, we're going to be going, in module 5, we're going to be going over the frequency shift, embodying your new self. What does she look like? What does he look like? What does he or she feel like? How does he or she dress? How do he or she talk? How do he or she walk? How do he or she act? How do they laugh? How do they resolve conflict? How do they engage with themselves? What's their internal dialogue like? Right? How do they show up for themselves? How do they show up for the world? How do they engage with other people? What type of perspectives do they carry? I guarantee you it's not the perspectives, it's not the identity that you have now. Ouch. This, you need to know this though. Gemini rising, how are you, my love? Hey, I love that. Gemini rising, 888, Ashe. Right? These are the things we need to know. It's literally impossible. So if 80%, if 60 to 80% of your daily activities and behaviors and identity and the way you engage, the way you react, all of it is based upon old traumas, old behavior patterns, old everything. How do you expect to live in the new? How do you expect to live in the future? How do you expect to embody anything new if a large majority of that is predicated upon the past? This is not just a perspective, it's an indisputable fact. And I was getting ready to say indisputable gratitude. Infinite gratitude, Big Chef. I was about to say indisputable gratitude. Yes, I do have indisputable gratitude. Ooh, baby, learn to laugh. Okay, learn to laugh. Okay, so in module 5, we're going to be going over the frequency shift, how to embody the new self, right? There's things you need to do, and which is going to get you there. In module 6, we're going to be going over the integration path, okay? How do you align your actions and your behaviors for mastery? And in module 7, we're going to be the last module. We're going to be going over the expansion phase. How many of you know that there are phases to everything? There's just like there are phases and levels of school. There are phases and levels of growth. Okay. When you were a baby, you was probably like this, no more than what, 7 inches. Some children some babies are born, they 9 inches long. Okay. And now we're like, how many feet? You know what I'm saying? Our muscles are bigger, our heart is bigger, our lungs is bigger. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are stages to everything. Why do we not think there are stages to mastery? There are stages to identity shifting. There are stages to manifesting. There are stages to attracting. There are stages and levels to everything. And if you don't know them, guess what? You're not gonna be stuck, as most of you think. It's not going to be, oh, same shit, different day. No, it's going to be bigger shit, different day. More shit every day. Because things don't magically disappear. What you suppress implodes. This is why it doesn't serve you if you keep repressing things that keep surfacing for a reason. If you're carrying guilt, shame, resentment, frustration, hate, they're resurfacing when they do for a reason. It means it needs your attention. If you're driving in a vehicle and all of a sudden if you're not paying attention and your gas tank icon thing lights up, what is it telling you? Baby, we're about to be pulled over to the side if you don't fill me up real quick. We're about to okay, we're about to stop working, we're about to stop moving, we're about to halt to a stop. Loose terrain goddess, how are you, my love? Right? It's the reason why that tank light is flickering or it turns red. There's a reason. Hello, it means that, hey, this area needs attention. It's not so you can ignore it. It's not so you can be lazy. It's not so you can be unaccountable. It's not a time for you to be speaking your affirmations. It's not time for you. It's no time for you to abracadabra talking about we gonna make it. We gonna make it. No. That indicator and that signal came on for a reason to let you know you need some gas. The car needs some gas in order for you to continue on your journey. The magnetism of your heart is constantly telling a lot of you it's weak. And you keep ignoring it. Your mental, the light keep going on in your mind, trying to signal you that, hey, something is wrong over here on the left side or the right side hemisphere. And you keep ignoring it. And then when your ass run out of gas and crash, now it's, oh my God, everybody's fault but yours. Who ignored the signs? You the one driving the car. However, if you think that somebody else is driving your car, of course you would be the one that had nothing to do with the crash. Duh. You're not responsible, right? Because you gave it all to the mystical man in the sky, because you gave it all to your ancestors, because you gave it all to the universe, and you take the wheel. Take the wheel. That's your will. That's your will. That's your will. It's your life. It's your life. It's your will, your life. Aren't you ready to take control of it? Aren't you ready to master it? Ashe. And finally, there's a bonus because I'm not the type of mentor and educator that's going to give you all of the steps and not give you the blueprint that is your a surety that as long as you keep implementing it, it's going to work. Okay, so the magnetic momentum method was created for you. It's a 30-day separated by weeks, daily actions that you are going to take that is going to assure you meeting your goal. And I'm confident about that. Why? Because not only have I used this proven magnetic momentum method, my mentees have used it and will learn to use it. This one is new to them, but not new to me. And there are other people who use this method. It works if you're willing to work it. Ashe, you must know that you have to do something. You need a plan of action. You cannot just be getting up. You cannot be rising and rested with no plan of action. Even if you wanted to get to a certain destination, you need an address. You need an address. When you go anywhere or book a flight, you need to know where you're leaving from and where you're going, or else what? You're not going to get there. You're not going to get there. Even if it's a random place, you still have to choose a random place. The system won't allow you to move to the pay now, pay to secure, if you do not input the accurate information that's required. If you do not input the accurate steps that is required, where do you think you're going? My love, I am ready to do the work. I am so glad to hear that, Sunshine. And I'm so happy that you joined All Things Master Infinity Circle. Listen, I told you like I told you like I told all of the mentees, especially the new mentees, the way your life is about to change for the better. I'm super ecstatic for you because I know it works if you work it. Ashe? Okay, so Constance, how are you, my love? So this new identity shift training is going to be spectacular. Okay, I'm telling you, this is what it is. Okay, and creating your desired reality is still going to be available. However, shifting your identity is going to eventually soon replace it in a way where that's going to be the entryway into the All Things Mastery Infinity Circle. Okay? And I definitely need y'all to understand that. Okay? Ashe, we need to know this. Because nothing changes until you change it. Okay? Have any of y'all ever heard about mental fractures? I want to talk a little bit about mental fractures before we get back into shifting the class today, which it still has a lot to do with identity shifting. Okay. Have any of you ever heard, put in the comment section if you ever heard of mental fractures, what mental fractures are. Okay. And then I want us to continue tapping, please. Signed Lake. Thank you so much for thank you so much for responding, my love. Infinite gratitude. Okay, thank you, Chef. I see your note. I see it. YouTube land. Okay. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Mental fractures is real close to what you think. Okay. And much like a bone fracture, mental fractures is also the splitting or breaking something. In this case, is your mental breaking. Okay, your mental being incoherent, not coherent. Okay, so the fracture is not an actual like break in like a bone breaking. Okay, like this. However, it is the incoherent, right? It is because of distorted biases. Okay, so a lot of us actually have mental fractures, which is causing us to continually cultivate the old identity instead of becoming our new identities. Okay, your mind and your body, in essence, was always created for coherence, not incoherence, for alignment, not misalignment. Okay, so just like a bone fractures and weakens the body structure, if you break a bone or break your ankle, I don't know about you, but I broke my ankle for in the military. When I was in the military in Afghanistan, we were doing our drills and we were jumping off damn rocks and climbing and stuff. And as I jumped off of the rock moving forward, the next soldier jumped right on top, right behind me, right on top of my ankle. And I fractured my ankle. Okay. So just and it weakened me in a way because I could not do the exercises no more. Okay, until my fractured ankle healed. I could not do the drills no more. I could not train anymore. Why? Because my body, that ankle fracture caused and affected the rest of my body, and it prohibited me from doing the rest of the activities. Jamaican Beauty, how are you, my love? Right? So when I talk about mental fractures, it's the equivalent. When you have mental fractures, it causes incoherence in your mind and in your heart. And if you are in an incoherent state, that means that you're continually sending mixed messages to the universe. So whenever you're speaking and diligent about speaking your affirmations and visualizing and the forms of meditating which you do, it isn't working because it doesn't have the required the capacity of energy. Fractures need repairing. Okay. And by the way, if you want more information on the pre-registration, please just click that click that service plus button down at the end. Just put your name in there and I'll send you the information so you can learn more about the shift in your identity training and also a lot of the other stuff that comes with it. Okay. And if you're ready to pre-register, it gives you access, lifetime access into All Things Mastering Infinity Circle, where you can continually do the work that we're currently doing. Okay. And in there, we hold each other accountable. Okay. In there, you have personal access to me to help you along your journey. So if you have any questions about the pre-registration, please put it in the comment section. Okay, so mental fractures weaken your mind, they weaken your body, and they weaken your identity, and it is disrupting your ability to process your reality clearer. Y'all see the thundering? It's sparking outside. I love it. It's rainy season here in Thailand. I don't know if y'all can see the flash and the flickering. It's about the rain. It looks pretty clear, but it is about the rain. It'll be raining soon. We're in rainy season. Okay, so back to mental fractures. Okay, when you have mental fractures, right? Your identity is being affected. The stability of your identity is being distorted. Okay, and we all know from past master lessons that the universe do not like misaligned thoughts, misaligned visualizations, misaligned meditation. It doesn't respond that way. Okay, the strongest will survive. The strongest will make it through. It's just like all of those trillions or thousands of little sperms that be trying to reach the egg. Okay, the strongest one and the one that the woman chooses, the body, that's the one that's going to make it past. It's much like that with your thoughts, your stronger thoughts, which are your transmitters. I see the information. Thank you so much for once the live is finished, I'm going to send you more information on identity shifting master training, so you'll have more information on that. Okay, once the universe is only responding to the strongest signal and the strongest magnetic pull. So I'll tell you again, for those of you who are new to me, and mastery, the way your reality is shaped, i.e. the what determines what you experience and what's reflected back to you in this reality via whether you broke or not broke, whether you're wealthy or not, whether you experience more love, more joy, more peace, or more sorrow, more frustration, more complacency, whatever it is, right? Your neurotransmitters, your neural networks, those are the signals. Your mental database. Know that there are probably 10 times trillions on top of trillions thought associations between how you speak, what you think, how you dress, how you talk, how you walk, how you engage, how you love, how you do your hair, how you the way you pick. All of those are associations. All of those carry its own neural network, okay, in the pathway. So over time, because we've been operating and doing the same thing, repetition builds retention. So because you've been brushing your teeth so long with the left hand, that particular thought, that particular program, that particular neural network is a lot stronger and is going to be a lot recognizable to the universe, because that is what you've been doing for the better part of 5-10 years. Whatever frequency that you have in your heart, okay, whether it's hate, resentment, fear, joy, bliss, whatever it is. And a lot of times you don't really know what's in your heart, but your heart is actually the magnetic, the magnetism that is drawing those things to you. So your thoughts are the electrical signals, and your heart is the electrical magnetism that draws the things to you. Okay, wealthy melanin. Welcome back. Okay, so if you're sending mixed signals to the universe, of course, if you're telling the universe, I want more money, I want more wealth. I see your request for more information. Infinite gratitude, Big Chef. So if you're constantly sending mixed signals, right? You're saying one thing, but then your heart is saying another. Your heart is magnetizing something else. If you're thinking something and your dominant your dominant old thoughts are overpowering your new thoughts, guess what? No wonder why you keep experiencing more of what you don't want to experience and less of what you do want to experience. Okay? But until you learn what's happening, how are you going to fix it? How are you going to fix it? How are you going to correct it? And a lot of y'all are consuming a lot of misguided information. When you have mental fractures and you don't correct them, okay? Not first things first. All mental fractures are related to trauma. And if you don't correct them, you're going to continually experience chronic stress, chronic fatigue, depression, anxiety, loneliness, fear, scarcity, right? Fight or flight, survival mode. Because your mind and your heart now is distorted, misaligned, incoherent instead of coherent. All of your distorted biases, all of your distorted beliefs, right? They can all go easily unnoticed for years. For years they can go unnoticed, but they silently drain your energy, your life force. Silently drain your energy. Silently cause you mental fog and distortion, not to be clear. It affects your willpower. Ashe, Morgan Maxwell, how are you, my love? Okay, I need us to understand that. Ashe? Right? So these are important. You're not supposed to, and I understand that a lot of us didn't know what it is. But when you're taught something and when you realize something, things are supposed to change, right? So I'll give you five things that's causing mental fractures, that is causing a lot of your mental fractures. Unbeknownst to you, suppressed emotions, pushing down feelings instead of intentional. instead of intentionally changing them, right? Not processing them creates internal tension that splits the psyche. Okay? Living in contradiction. Constantly saying no when yes when you want to say no. Constantly being someone who you no longer want to be, causing you excessive amount of grief. Saying one thing while unknowingly believing or doing other things is forcing your mind to fracture, to continually be distorted. Overcompensation, over consuming, overconsumption, pardon me. I tell y'all about this all the time. One of the keys to mastering self in your life is minimizing your consumption, what you take in and who you take in. Those are constant things that are affecting you. What you're consuming, the noise, the constant media, the constant news, hearing all of the opinions, all of the perspectives, all of the arguments and the debates, a lot of things that are unhealthy, all of the false information, even accurate information can cause you mental fractures if you're not processing it. So this is where we're retaining. When you're overconsumption, when you're over consuming, you're taking in, and you're never processing it. I say infinite gratitude, Queen Lynn. You cannot keep absorbing, and even me, I'm a lover of information. However, I learned the hard way that over consuming was causing me to have mental fractures. This is how I discovered what was going on. I like to know the core of things. So if something is happening with me, I'm diving deep into research. I'm going to figure it out at its core, because just skimming surface level shit, just being like, oh, this is happening or this is happening on a surface level. No, baby, I'm a deep diver, because it's within the deep that you really discover what's really going on underneath that the shallow end of the water. Okay, I don't just want the surface level. Okay, I want the whole thing. Why did my mind just go somewhere nasty? Child, Venus, get your mind right. Back to the lesson. We need to understand the core of things, not just surface level. It's not enough to just understand what's going on externally. Because your external reality, your external environment, everything that happens externally is happening first internally. That's going within. That's diving deep within. But if you stay on a shallow level because you're scared, because you have scarcities, because you lack certain things knowingly or unknowingly, because you fear of certain things, because you want to remain unaccountable and irresponsible, those have lasting consequences. Right, Queen Lynn? Those have lasting consequences. So overconsumption is not healthy, and it causes mental fractures. And whenever your mind is fractured, you cannot effectively create anything. Okay, especially the experiences that you want, unhealed trauma. Continually to ignore or suppress painful experiences also causes the mind to split. Okay? You think you're protecting yourself, but you're only making it worse. What you suppress grows. It don't leave. What you the dust that can y'all just imagine? You think you sweeping dust under the rug is going to magically just disintegrate? Okay? You sweep enough dust under that rug, baby, the minute you decide to just peek under it, it's going to choke you and take you out. It's going to be so overwhelming. I say, Queen Lynn, you cannot keep suppressing. It implodes because energy don't just disappear. It don't just disappear. What you suppress compounds. Okay? It's unhealthy. You cannot think that you can just just repress your uncomfortable emotions without processing them. Energy needs to be transmuted, means it needs to be alchemized. You cannot think that you can harbor so much energy that is growing by the minute, by the second, because energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred or transmuted. So if you are transferring it from one chakra to another chakra, you just block two of your chakras. If you keep sweeping shit under the rug, eventually that's gonna what? Trickle into other rooms of your house. If you just keep collecting hoarder, you just eventually you're not even gonna have any room to walk. The energy is gonna be so stagnant because there's too much clutter. That causes mental fractures. Peace, love. How are you, Myra? Right? And I know a lot of times we ignore it, right? And we do ignore it because one thing we cannot play as much as we love to play is stupid, right? And I know some of y'all be like, "Oh, that's not a nice word." Yeah, well, let me just read y'all what your good friend Googler say, okay? let me read you what your good friend Googler say, okay? According to Googler, okay, having or showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense. Now, why do we like to sugarcoat stuff all the time? I don't know. It is what it is. If you don't want to, if you don't want to be considered being a coward, then don't do cowardly things. Because according to the definition, a coward is someone who is in fear or allow fears to override their righteous judgments, their righteous actions. Okay? So stupid is exactly what it is. Having or showing a great lack of intelligence or common sense. That is by choice. A lot of us are stupid by choice because you're not inherently stupid. How can you be one with the infinite source of intelligence, one with the all-knowing, the all-omnipotent? How can you be one with God's source? How can you be one with this authoritative? How can you be one with this infinite source of power? How can you be one with this? How can you? While simultaneously saying, I don't know. I don't know why I did that. I don't know. I don't know. How many times you ever catch yourself using that? I don't know. I don't know. That is one of my pet things to hear that I just don't like to stroke. That is one of my pet things that I do not like to stroke in others. And I always teach my children this. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Not know. You're cursing yourself. Why would you keep saying that to yourself? I don't know. No, you know. Even if you have to pause and take a couple of deep breaths and exhales, figure it out. This is why you actually have one mouth, two ears, and a brain. It's called processing. Nobody forced you to come quick with the mouth. You and just as wrong as you are strong. So when I say one thing that you can never convince me, we can never convince ourselves of, or especially me, is that you're stupid. You're not inherently stupid. We choose to be stupid. We choose to lack common sense. We choose to lack inner sense. We choose to not tap into our authority. We choose to not tap into our abilities. We choose to not do. We choose to be irresponsible and unaccountable. We choose. But that's not who you are inherently. You're not without intelligence. You're not without wisdom. You're not without skill. You're not without motivation, or you're not without any of these things. Inherently, you're choosing to be without them. There is a difference. And the best thing you can do is be honest with yourself. It's one of my deepest motivations. I do not like being stupid, so I don't act like I'm stupid. And I damn sure won't ever dull my intelligence to appease someone else's stupidity. Take that humble shit somewhere where it's accepted. I will never dull my intelligence, my authority, my superiority, not for nobody or nothing, not to appease you, not you meaning you, but others who are insecure, others who lack intelligence, others who lack wisdom, others who lack comprehension, others who don't do or haven't put in the work. I'm them in my life for you. You got two choices, and the third one isn't an option for you. You can shine as bright as me or brighter. I'll be glad either way and celebrate you. You can put some damn shades on to minimize my shine, my intelligence, and my confidence, or you can get the on. You can about face forward march and keep on going until your heart is fulfilled. But the third option that I said you won't have is me dimming my light, me appeasing you to make you feel better about what you lack. I say, infinite gratitude, chef. We not doing that over here. Infinite gratitude. We not doing it over here, and I don't encourage you to do it. Okay, this is just facts. Okay. So yeah, the word is probably, listen. It is what it is. We got to stop cherry picking the words we want to use. I use the words according to the definition of the word and according to the etymology of the word. If I really want to be nasty like Janet, okay, we can go deep with it. Dana, how are you, my love? Hi, Dana. Dane, how are you, my love? Ashe, don't do it to yourself. You was not meant to be under nobody else's table. Lamps sit on tables for a reason. Who in their right mind will sit a lamp underneath the table? Come on, people. Let's act like we got some authority, some sense, and some confidence to step outside the box, to think for ourselves, to not be a damn puppet anymore. Just because they told you you need to humble yourself, don't mean that you have to humble yourself. You choose or choose not to. Old programming. Okay. Now that we said that, okay. What's the deeper elaboration? So when we're still talking about brain, mind, mental fractures. So when your mind is fractured, it creates compartments. Okay. Compartments meaning thoughts and identities that no longer communicate properly. Okay. It's just like you trying to communicate with an extraterrestrial. Y'all don't speak the same language. I mean, we all speak the language of energy, the language of frequency that can be interpreted, right? We can all play charades and do the acting, okay? If I do this gesture, this body gesture, what do you think that means? Eat something. Or if I do this, it either means depending on the face that I make, it may mean that I'm hungry or my stomach hurt. So when your brain and your heart is not communicating, it's not comprehending each other, it causes the mind to fracture. Okay? This leads to inner conflict. It leads to distorted perceptions. Okay? Self-sabotaging behaviors. I was guilty of that once. Ashe? Chronic stress, dis-ease, discomfort in the body, fatigue. Okay, all of these things matter. Okay, so right now I'm gonna open into, and as the for this next month and probably the next month, I'm gonna be going over and touching on the 7 modules in identity shifting, shifting your identity. Because I know this is really imperative and it's something that you need to know. So I am when I'm in my lane and in my workspace, I am always seeking to create something that can be smoothly interpreted by those who allow me to mentor them. So when people hear creating your desired reality, yes, it hits. However, I found over the course of, me speaking about the training and what it is, a lot of people, and because I cater to multiple different people on multiple mental levels, I need to make something, I need to have something created that's general. And so I decided, I'm like, I needed to shift. I was like, I need to shift. I need to shift. And the longer I said that, I'm like, you know what? It came to me. Shifting your identities, because your identity plays a huge part in what you experience. Now, when I say shift your identity, that's smoothly acceptable. A lot of people, more than not, understand what identity is and also understand what shifting is. And so this is why the creating your desired reality is just going to move aside. It's still going to be available because creating your desired reality gives you the foundational building blocks of what you need to know. However, all of the master courses that is available to the mentees are pre-recorded. You can visit them, do them, the exercises, the applications at your own pace. Okay, so this shifting your identity is going to be at the center of what we're doing from here moving forward. And I'm really, really excited about that. Okay, so in the coming weeks, we're definitely going to keep continue this discussion. Okay, I'm not going to give everything that's in the 7 modules, but I would touch on them. Okay, so for those of you who requested more information, once I'm done with the live, I'll definitely send you some more information on the link in the link. Yeah, okay, Chef, I got you. Yes, it's about 1:30, so it's the time. TikTok, can you give me 1 second? Because we're gonna do a short Q&A just to make sure all of you are set. So, infinite gratitude for all the gifts, all the taps, all the hearts to my YouTube family, to my Twitch family, and to my Facebook family. Once again, I am your host and educator, your mastery educator, Venus Scott. Okay, you can find me. We typically go live for mastery classes every Monday and Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If that changes, I'll let you know. But be sure to look out, hit the notification button and subscribe button wherever you are so you can be notified that I'm going live. In order for you to gain the tips, tools, information, and applications that's required, so you can not only shift your identity, you can get yourself in alignment to experience the love, the romance, the sexiness, the confidence, the peace, the joy, the bliss, 80% of your days, not 50%, 80% of your days. Until then, love you, mean it. May you continually stay sovereign, unstoppable, and enlightened.